Zulu. Ita, Una, who's gone with the Goomba? Bounce on light, shine brighter than lights on Zulu. Ita, Una, who's gone with the Goomba? Bounce on light, shine brighter than lights on Zulu. Ita, Una, who's gone with the Goomba? Bounce on light, shine brighter than lights on Zulu.
Ita, Una, hila le karu narite. Osala tlaka tshwarano tsekaletse go ke go sumise mo mamepe. Ha batla sukiri tswina ete ene ha feel ko mafike ka di bala ke spana post office the way ke phelang ke go tshwaretse poso ka teng. Banna we hold up na ke batla fela million like na tse pedi ka pa tse tharo ka tshela ke tlitswela mo dilong na work hard ke double work some more ke triple I'm a work hard to get what I deserve. I keep batla se pesa na ita.
Who's gone with the Goomba? Bounce on light, shine brighter than lights on Zulu. Ita, who's gone with the Goomba? Bounce on light, shine brighter than lights on Zulu. Ita, who's gone with the Goomba? Bounce on light, shine brighter than lights on Zulu. Ita, who's gone with the Goomba? Bounce on light, shine brighter than lights on Zulu. Ita.
Oh no, Charlie M with the combo. Me and lyrics are just better fitted like a yelp at it with the ghost lows. Eita, oh no, check the sauce man, we all gold. See my niggas about to get their colors like the Sunday dishes with the coleslaw. A green, ball bro, mucho cinco man I'm ocho. Get a cloth man, oh no, the swag dripping on the song bro. Shine light man, oh lord, grip strong, yeah we hold on. Yeah we did it though we never fit it. When they see my niggas in the street now, they're like Eita. Sure.
Who's gone with the Goomba? Bounce on light, shine brighter than lights on Zulu. Ita, who's gone with the Goomba? Bounce on light, shine brighter than lights on Zulu. Ita, who's gone with the Goomba? Bounce on light, shine brighter than lights on Zulu. Ita, who's gone with the Goomba? Bounce on light, shine brighter than lights on Zulu.
You don't believe me, so join the line. Look at the numbers, they never lie. You were the G once upon a time. You ain't got the block now. Put it all on the map now. Still vibing with my old sounds. Still doing all the bad sounds. Shout out to niggas that diss me. Me, I just wanna get millions. Why you caught up in your feelings? Is it cause a nigga winning? Hate that, hola. I'm the nigga that they all know. Be killing it since I'm solo. You was staying got the homo.
And we are back at it. Nazo.
Welcome to the show, everybody. My name is Edutainment, and as you guys can see, I am not riding solo.
Oh yes, of course.
Everybody's wearing a leather
checkers. And thank you so much for joining us from the hour from 4 to 5. And you do not go anywhere.
That was Green Fingers with Ekse. I think I'm vibing to this song. Imnandi Ganjani. I love it. It's the first time that I'm singing it. I'm giving kudos to him.
I'd like us to please just send Lama off stage because he was dissing my belly buttons. But other than that, guys, welcome. We're going to be entertaining you guys from the hours of 4 till 5 p.m. You don't want to go anywhere. You can contact us on all our social media pages. It is Ekse_live on Twitter as well as Ekse on K-Town TV. Like you always know what we do on a Wednesday. It is Science Wednesday, and we're giving you the best of local science and rather international science today.
Yes, of course. And the hashtag to use for today's episode is hashtag SciTech. It's Ekse_live on Twitter, on Facebook. It's Ekse on Cape Town TV.
Oh yes, of course. And again, we have an awesome lineup for you today. We'll be speaking to Goodman, who went to India for the 50th World Annual Conference. He's going to be speaking about lung and lung diseases and everything relating with lung and cancer.
And another person who is on the lineup, sorry to cut you, my love.
No
another
problem.
person who's on the lineup is Donovan Goliath, who, if you don't know, is a Caucasian-looking man who happens to be colored. Not only that, he's from Umtata, so he speaks fluent Xhosa, happens to be a comedian. So it's going to be a fun time in the studio. It's going to be hilarious.
Definitely. We also have an artist on the show. He goes by the name Green Fingers. It's all the way from Mahikeng. He'll be telling us about his latest single titled Eita. He's a producer as well as a DJ, but now releasing some music. We're going to find out why.
Yeah, believe it or not, South Africa is one of the highest countries in the world that is infected with ETB, following after they're the third in line. We are there as if, hey, we are the third in line, following after China and India. To dissect this even more, we've got Dr. Becky, who is a medical officer here, TB Drug Medical Center
yes.
for Doctors Without Borders. So we
Yes.
cannot wait to have her. Uhleli nathi apha kwi-Yellow Culture. So do so, uhleli nathi till the hour 5 because we're busy educating you, entertaining you, as well as giving you information because guys, we are hectic.
I
More time than any
I
other show.
did not say anything.
It don't matter. Right now it's time for us simnike zonke yena azibambe ngazo zozibini. This is Melikaya with SciTech News.
Love of my life.
Manibambe ngazo zozibini kwigqiza lethu labasasazi elichubekileyo iYouth ngokwayo. Ndinamkela babukeli kwideska yendaba ezikenzululwazi nobuchwephesha. Elami igama ndinguMelikhaya Mziba. Inqaku lokuqala. Nanjengoko isakhono kwezobuchwephesha isesona sitshатsheleyo kule mihla khona kuze imisebenzi emininzi yenziwe, uluntu lwaseKapa luza kuxhamla kwinkqubo esunguliweyo yokuqeqesha abemi besi sixeko kweli candelo. Inkqubo yesixeko iSmart Cape ijonge kunabeni isebenzisane neMatrix Clinics ekunikeni izakhono ezifana nezekhompyutha kubantu abakwinkqubo yokuvuselela impilo yabo kunye nabo bangenamakhaya. Baza kufundiswa ezona zakhono zingenako ekwenzeni lula iindlela zokukhangela imisebenzi kuquka ukwenza i-CV, ukusebenzisa i-intanethi nokuseta i-email. Emveni kokuba begqibile abaqeqeshwa baza kuthweswa izidanga apho baza kunikwa isiqinisekiso zokuba balwenzile uqeqesho lwekhompyutha. Utshilo olilungu lwe-corporate service kweli leKapa uSharon Cottle. Inqaku lesibini namhlanje. Ityendyana leli loMzantsi Afrika nelingumfundi kwidyunivesithi yeli leKapa i-UCT lifumene udidi lwezityalo elagqityelwa ukubonwa kwiminyaka emininzi eyadlulayo ebalelwa kwi-200. uBrian Duprio owenza izifundo zakhe ze-PhD in Bontain uthe wafumana olu didi lwezityalo iSorata cataracta ekubikwa ukuba zagqityelwa ukubonwa kwiminyaka yo-1800 nalapho zazixhaphake khona ngenxa yokutshintsha kwamaxesha zathi zanqaba. Lo kaDupri uyibone ngethuba ekhubeka kuso esi sityalo kwindlela emxina ekwithafa iTulba kweli leKapa. Waye wayiqonda akuqwalasela kuyo ukuba yiyo iSolaria cataracta. Utshilo uBrian oku kwale mbali yesi sityalo kungqilwe nangunjingalwazi Charles Stettin ophuma kwidyunivesithi yase-United Kingdom osispecialist kwi-genus Sophra ehlonitshwa kwihlabathi jikelele ngenxa yokugqwesa kumsebenzi wakhe awenzayo. Inqaku lesithathu. Oogqirha beentliziyo kunye nezinye iinkcubabuchopho kwezempilo abaphume kwizwekazi iAfrika bebehlanganise iintloko bejonge injingalwazi yeli loMzantsi Afrika ibonisa ukwenza isixhobo esingesinye esinokuthi sisetyenziswe ngelixa isenza uqhaqho lwentliziyo ingciba umngxunya kwintliziyo yesigulana. Wonke lo msebenzi ubusenzeka kwisibhedlele iNetcare Sunning Hill eRhawutini usenziwa ngunjingalwazi Farrell Helling. Uqhotyelwe izandla lokaHelling zizazi kwezempilo ngomsebenzi wakhe awenzileyo. Le njingalwazi ithe lo msebenzi indlela owenziwa ngayo unganabo ubunzima kodwa iqaqobana loogqirha beentliziyo beli loMzantsi Afrika nelizwekazi iAfrika liphela banikwa izakhono ezifanelekileyo ukuwenza lo msebenzi. Inqaku lethu lesithathu namhlanje. uMzantsi Afrika uyaphuhla ngamandla kwicandelo lwezobuchwephesha. Oku kuza emveni kokuba inzwana yeli ephuma kwiphondo laseLimpopo kwidolophi iThohoyandou ithe yavelisa iglavu eyenza ukunxibelelana phakathi kwabantu abaphila nokungeva nabo bevayo kube lula. uLucky Netshidzati ngungqondongqondo ekuveliseni iglavu ethi iguqule i-sign language iyise kwintetho emamelekayo okanye ebhaliweyo. Eli tyendyana lithi lakhuthazwa ekubeni abazali bayo bobabini babengeva, nto leyo yayingumcelimngeni ekukhuleni kwakhe ukunxibelelana nabo. Ukwathe unethemba lokuba angafumana inkxaso-mali ekuyiphuhliseni nangakumbi le nkqubo yakhe, kodwa oku ukwakwenza lula nangakumbi ukunxibelelana kwabantu belizwe loMzantsi Afrika nehlabathi liphela. inqaku lesithathu nelokugqibela namhlanje. Nanjengoko isakhono kwezobuchwepheshe esesona sitshатsheleyo khona ukuze imisebenzi emininzi yenziwe, uluntu lwaseKapa luza kuxhamla kwinkqubo esunguliweyo yokuqeqesha abemi besi sixeko kweli candelo. Inkqubo yesi sixeko iSmart Cap ijonge ekunabeni isebenzisana iMatrix Clinics ekunikeni izakhono ezifana nezekhompyutha kubantu abakwinkqubo yokuvelisa impilo yabo kunye nabo bangenamakhaya. Baza kufundiswa ezona zakhono zingenako ekwenzeni lula iindlela zokukhangela imisebenzi, kuquka ukwenza i-CV, ukusebenzisa i-intanethi nokuseta i-email. Emveni kokuba begqibile abaqeqeshwa bazokuthweswa izidanga apho baza kunikezwa isiqinisekiso zokuba balwenzile uqeqesho lwekhompyutha, utshilo ongusihlalo wale Mdedeb. Kukangako besinako de kube lixesha elizayo kamnandi mawethu.
To Melikaya for giving us what's the latest on our side tech news. Rather, he does this every single Wednesday. So you guys want to keep up what's happening next Wednesday. He's gonna be back. Right now, though, we are joined by a young gentleman from all the way from Mahikeng. He goes by the name Green Fingers. The first time I heard about him was in a classic song by Casper Nyovest, What Would I Be If Green Fingers and I Weren't Cool. Right now he's joining us on stage to tell us more about his latest single, Eta. We're also talking all things Mutswako. Unjani mfowethu? Siyabulela ukwenza ixesha lokuncokola nathi namhlanje. Let's talk about the music and the journey. I understand that you're a producer as well as a DJ.
Yes.
Why the decision to now release songs of your own?
Okay. Well, basically, as you know, as you say, I was behind the scenes and I was pushing other artists for quite a while now since I started doing music production as a professional person. But then, as time went, I decided, you know what, I feel like it's time to be on front of the camera, to be on the mainstream and start showcasing my music, and that's when I basically started to DJ. So after I released my first single 3 years back, titled Lerato, I got a very, very fair and positive response about me now being the person who showcases as a DJ. So that's when I continued and then decided I'm going to take another single, Eta.
Green Fingers, man, I'm actually quite interested to find out your love for music, because I mean, we all have, you know, that inspiration from somewhere. Where does that inspiration come from you to start your music career?
Okay, honestly, I started this music career when I was still 7 years old.
7?
When I started playing piano, so I was inspired by talent.
Yeah.
So I wasn't inspired by a specific artist or someone I was looking up to, even though I loved music as a young person from the word go. But because I made peace with the fact that music is the only thing that I know how to do, and I'm actually talented at this situation, so I prolonged it and I did it as what I love, and like I'm saying to you, it's the only thing that I know how to do. So then music became my thing, you know. I grew into production, and then I later on became a professional musician. So I was inspired by realizing that I'm actually talented.
You have something for
Yeah,
music.
plus the positive response I was getting from supporters and family. So I decided, okay, music is going to be me then.
Have you always done rap? It is, right? Or have you
Hip-hop
maybe
genre,
maybe done house, then after house you moved into rap? Where did you start off, or have you always been interested in rap?
Well, remember, as a DJ and as a producer, I would always mainly feature other artists, but because I'm a musician, because I'm into production and I'm not limited to genre.
Sure.
I'm from Mafikeng, so Motswako, which is what we represent, comes from where we're from, which is Northwestern Mafikeng. So I've been representing mainly where I come from. So I've been doing Motswako, but Motswako is right inside hip hop. Motswako is a part of hip hop. It's a genre as also part of hip hop. So, but I'm not limited to genre. No.
You mentioned earlier that you were playing piano at 7. I want to understand the importance of including live instruments such as bass and a piano in your production. Why is that important for you?
Yeah, you're right. You see, that my brother helps you to stay original and organic. You see, so the problem we're facing now as producers is all of us would want to follow a trend each and every time something new comes, and most of producers are not even instrument players. They would always need to outsource or call in other musicians, and then at a later stage there is fight, and then at a later stage there's things like exploitation. So being a producer and knowing how to play instruments means you don't necessarily need session musicians into your studio sessions. You can do everything yourself. You do a song, a house track that needs keys, that's handled. You need a house song that needs bass, that's handled. So that's what makes me different as a producer. I am able to
play with the
literally
instruments,
finish an album on my own without needing any session musician. So that makes me different, and it helps me to have my own sound. So I decide on what I want to do when I want to do it.
I was actually about to say that, I mean, you being able to play all these other genres and all these other music, beg your pardon, must help you, you know, in being able to distinguish your own specific sound. But with the song Eta, which I thought actually it was hip-hop, legit, but if it's Motswako, okay. What inspired you to actually, you know, take and coin this word Eta that we always use, you know, and turn it into a song?
Well, first of all, Eta is hip-hop legit. Yeah.
Okay.
Eta is definitely hip-hop legit. Eta was inspired by the fact that, okay, number one, Eta is a say. You know, the word Eta is a say, like Eta. But what inspired the chorus is how, where we're from, all kids believe that you need to be based into a bigger city, or you need to be living in Joburg for you to make you know, become big in the industry.
That's
so
true.
That's why the chorus says Mouthtown light shine brighter than light some Jondo. Biggest producers, biggest rappers, biggest radio presenters, and a lot of us come from Mafike. We come from that city where Mabana is founded, where art comes from, and then next thing we grow up into knowing that as long as you are based at home, nothing is going to come through. You're not going to make it, so you need to move into the bigger city. So then that's what inspired me to come up with the song Eta. You know, Mouthtown light, don't light shine brighter than light some Jondo. So that's what inspired Eta.
What about the artists that you featured in Eta? I understand all of them are from Mouthtown, correct?
No.
The
guy on the chorus is Solid T, is from Mouthtown. Noti is a Mutako rapper, he's from Mouthtown as well. Charlie, who's on the second verse, is from Soweto, Johannesburg. And the last guy on the last chorus, on the last verse, sorry, his name is Wizbeat. He's based in Pretoria, Soshangu. So that's how I was trying to cover.
Why those particular artists?
Well, talent number one that I could not explain about them. You know, they're seriously hectically dope rappers. Number one, number two, I work with energy. That's my thing. I work with energy, and if I feel you, if I feel your energy, and I believe. And number three, I'm always just about putting other kids on, you know. And also what I was trying to achieve, I was trying to cover different markets. And I'm versatile, and I always spread my wings every time I do a new song. Like I'm saying about putting other kids on, that's what I like. That's what makes me sleep at night. I like to put other kids on, and hence Eta, there is literally 4
so
rappers
people,
in one song.
No, I commend you for that. I mean, once you know something, it's good to, you know, always spread it. So, album, anytime soon.
Yeah, most definitely. My fans and followers know that I'm a producer that plays and that DJs. So there already is a serious demand of an album. So I have started with an album already, but I want it to come as a project, a serious project.
Yeah.
Perhaps possibility of a double CD. I want it to be launched as a concert.
Yes.
So I want it to be huge.
Black coffee.
Yeah, I'm going to take my time on it. I'm going to
sure.
feature people and musicians on it. In the meantime, I'll be releasing dope singles like Eta.
All right, under a minute, where can we get you in your socials?
I am at _fingers in all social bookings, edutainment, or info@edutainment.co.za.
Okay, awesome, man.
I'm glad me and Green Thing is cool.
What's your best?
No, definitely, I enjoyed you. Actually, how about this? How about you actually write a song about Ekse? Hey, that's an idea. That's an idea.
That makes sense. I need to be in studio when that happens.
All right. No, thank you so much for joining us, man,
Thank
in
you,
studio.
thank you very
And
much,
definitely, thank you so much for joining us. We have so much more coming in for you, and we hope now faram whether it confused Papa. We're jumping onto an outbreak. Do not go anywhere. We are Ekse on channel 263.
having one story being shared, because people get to learn about them, quantifies that, but because your work relies on a satellite data. But during my honors year, I realized that it was such a challenging thing to secure a job in the mining industry. I then decided to, and not only in South Africa, but in quite a lot of best universities. Women are created multitasking. Happy Women's Month.
Now welcome back to the biggest, the baddest,
The
and the
most
most
hip and happening show in the
motherland.
motherland.
Baby, we are hacked 9 million times than any other hit show in South Africa. This is Ekse Live. You can follow us on Twitter, it's Ekse_Live. On Facebook, it's Ekse. On Cape Town TV, this is where we redefine education as well as entertainment. Welcome to it, everybody. Gauteng, Cape Town, Kimberley, we know that you're watching, and thank you for embracing us for an hour. It's an absolute pleasure giving you all the goods that you need.
Yes,
you
it
know,
is,
you're
it
chilling
is.
with Intombi Mzulu, Ulwandile,
that is
as
I.
well as your boy Lamali Moon. Thank you for choosing us as your source of entertainment.
What was the banter we were talking about now? What happened in the studio? And who do we have in the studio, most importantly?
Oh man!
Oh man. Okay, first of all, I'm gonna do the drum roll because it's taking a little while. So I was making a joke earlier saying he does indeed look like a Caucasian man. He happens to be colored all the way from Umtata, but the man speaks perfect Xhosa, so you guys can't chat about him. Because guess what? He'll hear you, and he happens to be a comedian as well. Ladies and gentlemen, give a big round of applause for Donovan.
Where's the drum roll, Malobi? You said you're there. We go. Thank you.
Mamela, Donovan, ndifuna uyazi benisithi kwi-producer yam sapha kaloku i-information yento because zininzi izinto ozenzileyo in your career. So sizoxoxa ngantoni namhlanje athi information kabani ndithi kaDonovan, oh Don, who's that? So I want to find out from you. What other weird nicknames have you ever received as a young boy growing up, and still today abantu bakubiza ntoni is fun?
Do you know what's weird, ne? I don't have nicknames. I was never given nicknames. People always get my name wrong. To this day, I always, like if somebody asks me what's your social media handle, I go Donovan Goliath. It's D-O-N-O. Xhosa people have a tendency to go D-O-N-A.
Oh, yeah,
they spell my name the way they say my name, Donovan. Right? So I've heard Donovani, Donovel. Donovel, yes. Donna. Umadonza.
Okay.
Madonsela. Maradona.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, we got a new one today from Ekse. Your new name is Don.
Don.
Okay.
Yes.
I like Don. It rolls off the tongue.
Okay, but Don, what have you been getting up to? I mean, he mentioned something very important. You do literally everything. I'm not going to mention everything you've done because it will be the whole interview, but you've been you were the host of Real Kapoza. You've done so many other things. What is it that you're currently working on right now? What is your core brand, since you do branch out so much? What do you stand for as a brand, as Donovan?
Well, everybody knows me as a comedian, so just to step back just a little bit, they know that I do comedy.
Right.
But I actually used to be, I guess I still am, an art director. I used to work in advertising for 7 years. I made a lot of TV ads at a big advertising agency called Network BBDO. Got into comedy, hosted Real Kapoza, hosted a show on Mnet as well. Yeah, I've just been doing multiple things. First one-man show I did 3 years ago, working on the second one-man show right now. But currently working on a very, very cool project, the Republic of Extra Cold.
Yes.
You've heard about this?
Yes,
the
yes, I
Castle
have.
Light
Yes,
Republic
I
of
have.
Extra Cold. This is a very big one.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be an amazing one as well, happening on the 28th of December.
Yeah.
The reason I say it's going to be an interesting one is because it's going to happen in the Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah.
And we're partying on an iceberg.
Listen.
What's
This
that
is
invite?
iceberg.
exciting.
This it really is.
Right?
Has this ever been done anywhere?
No,
Okay,
it's never
cool.
been done before.
Carry on.
So on an iceberg, 28th of December, my responsibility on this whole thing, I'm the Minister of Vibe. You know, so it's my job to
Yebo.
just keep it
Keep the people
it
South
going.
Africa,
Yes.
Ewa.
Are you ready?
And working with amazing people. The
Yeah.
president of this campaign is Pearl Tusi, so she'll be spearheading that. We've got the Minister of Drip, who's Boiti, making
okay.
sure that people are looking their best when they come through. You can't come there and think you're gonna get in.
Helang wena.
You
You
get
make me
pushed out.
question my trip.
No, you're fine.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm joking. I'm joking. It's a trickle. Maybe it's not drip. It's just a trickle in jail.
And the other ministers?
We have got Junior Koza, who is the Minister of Summer Body.
Why not Skumba for that?
Skumba for the Minister of Summer Body. Oh my gosh. Skumba doesn't have a six-pack, he's got a case. Right, that's what he So Junior Koza is the Minister of Summer Body, prepping people to get ready to, go topless if they need to go topless. And I think it's going to be fantastic. Oh, we also have the Minister of Beats, who's Ayanda MVP, so she's responsible for the music. So we represent different facets of the coldest, greatest party you've ever been to.
Yeah, Don. Sometimes abantu abahlala pick up during December. They like to go home. Abanye home is Semtata,
yeah.
and then all one did about Durban and stuff like that. What happens if you're not in Cape Town on the 28th of December? You're missing out.
It's in Johannesburg.
Shame.
Cape Town.
I'm so sorry for you. No, it's in Cape Town.
Yeah, I'm so sorry for you.
No, I'm really so sorry for you. Listen to everything I just said.
Yeah.
In the Atlantic, 28th of December, all of us are going to be there. An iceberg in the middle of the ocean. Where are you going?
Okay.
Now you're going to slaughter a chicken. Why are you going to do that?
Why did you say yes to this brand activation?
I think it's all me. I like the responsibility that I've been given as the Minister of Vibe. I love the brand. I think the brand is cool. I like that they do incredibly extraordinary things. It's never just normal. Like, this could have been a normal party, but they really took it and turned it on its head. I always believed, Castle Light trendsetters, definitely. Always pushing the boundaries, always going above and beyond, and making it an experience, making it or giving it massive talkability, making people really, sit back and go, shucks, whatever comes next, if it's Castle Light involved, if I don't get involved in this thing and start making a big noise and become a nuisance soon, I'm going to miss out on, an experience. So, yeah, that's exactly why.
One thing I need to question, vibe.
Ubani?
Vibe. Who put you
Self-proclaimed,
in
let me say that.
Another thing I'd like to ask is, looking forward, or rather going into this, you are the Minister of Vibes, so expecting lots of vibes from you. What are your preparations to go, and how do you prepare to be the most vibiest person on a Castle Light ship?
I don't think you really prepare. You just feed off the people's energy.
Yeah.
You get in there, you feed off their energy, you see where it's at, but then it works in stages. So I think we're all kind of helping each other. So Ayanda MVP, who's the Minister of Beats,
Right.
wherever she takes the energy, I ride off of it,
Amazing.
So that's how it goes. And I'm used to it. I go on stage and I make people laugh for a living. That's what I do. So I'm used to getting into people's heads and kind of making them respond to my crazy thoughts.
Right.
So it's a natural fit, I guess,
Yeah. What can I expect when I land Glow Ship?
What can you expect?
Yes.
Now, it's an interesting process, because I think that the fun starts before you even get there.
Sure.
Right? Because you'd have to register on castlelight.co.za to become a citizen.
All right.
Yes. We become a citizen of the Republic of Extra Cold, where you'll be given a passport, right? If you do not have that passport in hand, you can't get into the Republic.
Yeah.
So I think the touch points beforehand are just as exciting. I think it's something. There's going to be a lot of FOMO before you even get onto this thing.
I already have.
It's limited.
I have FOMO.
Yeah. It's very limited. So I think it's a very exclusive thing as well. So because you have to go on and register to become a citizen, I think you kind of get screened and yeah, I don't know if this person is right for this thing, you know, maybe Mkomboti, not. yeah, maybe not. So the touch points are very cool, you know, and I think I keep mentioning the word experience because that's exactly what it is. So way before that even happens, the actual final thing happens, there's going to be a lot of experiences within experiences that happen as well. So we're having activations, you know, so at Sneaker Exchange, Fill Up, Rands as well here in Cape Town. So we're going to be setting up castle light stations, you know, smaller versions of what you can expect on the 28th of December for people who can't go, who are going back to KZN and they can't make it, or for people who would love to go, to give them a sense of what it's going to be like there.
Now, let's say I want to register. How do I go about and when do I do it?
You can go onto castlelight.co.za and just follow the prompts and fill in all necessary details there.
And so I can do it now, today, after the show?
Yeah, right now.
And where can all the Ekse people stalk you today?
On social media at Donovan Goliath. I will reiterate DONOVAN.
Mamela.
Not Donovan.
Not Donza. Nothing like that.
Yeah, just Donovan Goliath. Yeah, we'll be posting a lot, you know, and also follow the hashtag, you know, Republic of Extra Cold. You'll find a lot of information there. A lot of us will be talking about this as well. Very, very exciting stuff.
Thank you so excited. Very excited. Another exciting thing is Umbali going to Netherlands, and then I think Ufunai donations so that she can pursue the career water and sanitation. So Ufumene Basari actually to go there. So she's gonna tell us all about it in the excitement again. What she's gonna be sharing with Abanye, Abantu Balapi South Africa that are going to that country. Don, thank you for coming through.
And
thank you for introducing us to the Republic of
thank you for shading me about
I hope you guys are. I was kidding.
Mbali Mahlai is a passionate, driven woman who comes from Guatemala, Extension 7, Langaville in Ekurhuleni. I was raised by a single mother. I should say that I really appreciate the opportunity of sort of having one story being shared because people get to learn about the field that I'm in. I always find it so difficult when people think remote sensing is GIS because GIS is Geographical Information System, which is also an application that looks at what is happening on the ground and quantifies that and put it in more of a spatial format. We do this almost similar work, but in Earth observation it goes deeper because your work relies on a satellite data. But during my honors year, I realized that it was such a challenging thing to secure a job in the mining industry. I then decided to do a master's degree. It was during that time that I managed to get to work for the Department of Water and Sanitation as a graduate trainee, and they offered me a bursary to further my master's, which is something I'll be eternally grateful for. Then my PhD study would focus on, I think on a broader term, it is food security. And on a broader term as well, we are tackling the different technological gaps that exist when it comes to agriculture, and not only in South Africa, but in quite a lot of African countries and abroad. This opportunity means everything to me. To a certain extent, it feels like I'm going to live my dream. During my honors and master's year, I got exposed to a lot of work that University of Twente does. And in my opinion, I find it to be one of the best universities in the world in terms of Earth observation studies. So it excites me to know that I'll be in that space, in that environment, and having to learn from people who are doing the most for the world when it comes to that field. It is well known that women are strong, women are are great at multitasking. So we shouldn't be scared of going out there and showing the world who we are. And with that being said, happy Women's Month to every woman in the country.
And the hashtag to use is Science Wednesday. Science Tech. What am I saying? It is a Wednesday. We were talking about everything about science, but right now we're going to be speaking about everything that's got to do with lung and TB. So India hosted the 50th Union World Conference on lung health from the 30th of October to the 2nd of November. In this conference, this is one of the largest conferences. It's an annual meeting where people talk about the issues of low and middle income countries and populations, and with regards to lung and research that situates those specific areas. So each year, delegates from close to 125 countries meet for the 4-day scientific conference to speak about all this research. Here to join us on our yellow studios is Goodman Makanda, who is a former multi-drug TB and TB patient from MSF from Ekse, who attended the conference, who will be asking and speaking about his experience in India. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much to invite me.
All right. Before anything else, we'd like to thank the heavens, the gods, that you are here with us, that you are alive. How are you doing?
I'm excellent. And you guys, how are you doing?
No, we're good. So jumping straight, into our first question. When you got diagnosed, and I hope you don't mind us talking about this.
No.
That's fine.
That it's me.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Okay. So when you got diagnosed with TB in December 2012, what went through your mind? What were your emotions? Because I'm sure it must have been a train smash, but hey, hindonile.
I'll fix something. It was 2013 when I was
2013.
diagnosed. Yes.
Okay.
I just vomited blood. So in our culture, when you vomit blood, it's been witchcraft. So I didn't think about TB because TB they emphasize of losing weight, coughing, sweating, whatever. They count a lot, but it never come to me. So I just visited a private doctor, and then I find out the doctor didn't find out nothing. So he'll refer me to the clinic, is where I give a sputum. So the sputum, when I come back, they find out I have an MDR TB, and then it was a new thing on me to say MDR. What that MDR stand for? That is multi-drug resistant TB. So how did I get it? And then the misinformation of, they said, you've been defaulting the normal 6 months treatment. But unfortunately for me, I never have a 6 months one. So I just, on the spot, I get an MDR. So it was a long journey, and it was emotional because you ask God a lot of questions. You go into yourself to say, why you didn't take me? And then you lose your dignity because you lose a weight. And then you end up now, it's a lot happening, but it needs people to stand up and talk about it, educate our community, so we can be in the same platform to say we know what we're talking about. TB can be cured. It's what we're spreading on. But the problem is, when I have a TB, I stand on my own corner, you stand on your own corner, you're fighting your own disease, you see. Do we need to combine ourselves as a community, stand together, because the TB one is a stigma in itself. When you have you feel like, no man, and because we associate TB with the poverty, with people sleeping in the street. But we forget one thing, TB is an airborne disease. It's up here. You can be rich, you can be poor, you can be white, you can be maroon, but you can, as long as you're still breathing, you're gonna catch a TB.
So I wanted to find out, because this is the first time I hear of MDR. I know of a regular TB, if I could call it that. Are there any other types of TB that people don't know about?
Yes, it's excellent. You ask the right question in the right person, because we have a normal TB that is tuberculosis. So we have a MDR that is multi-drug resistant TB that when you resist from the first one. And then if again you default or do something, or you resist it, you end up to XDR TB, that extremely drug resistant TB. So my journey, it was when I was nearly to be finished my treatment. That's why I worked so long for 4 years. I find out now when I was 18 months to finish the race, and then I contact again XDR TB, and then I find out now that the lung has been damaged. I'm a living proof of you can live with one lung. So I have a one lung. I did the operation to take it out. So I continue the medication, but luckily with MSF we advocating, they bring in about the new drugs that we're supposed to use. We use normally before we use an old regimen where I was taking 35 tablets a day with an injection for 9 months. Just imagine that. So it's when I take a stand to say, let me stand up on top of the table, fight for those they can fight for themselves. even those they are still coming to be infected and affected by TB, let's make the platform right. Even I prepare myself to say, even one day maybe I will have a TB again. Do you think I can take that 35 tablets again? I won't. So let me do something now than later.
Goodman, yazi ndifuna ubuza man bana cause ndiva uthetha nge-XDR ne-MDR. Zizinto zohlukeneyo ezi okanye ziyafana?
Zi-TB ezohlukeneyo. Iztrain zazo azifani.
Okay.
The more ungu-MDR is better, you still have a chance, but when ungu-XDR kunala assumption yokuthiwa you don't stand a chance because ngela xesha ndandine-TB yayingekho i-treatment. Kwafuneka ii-doctors zihlale zidibanise ukuthi singadibanisa lena into nalena mhlawumbe ze kuphume into ethile ukubona mhlawumbe ingamnceda. So kungela xesha kwakungekho kwa until
so ke ngeyiphi lena ke that you got treated for 4 years?
It was an XDR.
XDR. I-side effects ke ukuze utreatwa for 4 years zithini?
I-treatment itself is a problem because it's toxic. Intolerable because uyavomita wakuyisela ube dizzy ube ngumuntu obona izinto ube nenyawo eziqaqambayo zonke izinto ziba lapha kuwe so bangula muntu omuthi oqomba it's like uThixo ngeke ngithathile man ngento ngasekho ekhaya ngasekwakhala kwagqitywa kunoba ndisafarishe ngolhlobo but ngokuba ke iside uqomba undifuna ukunyamezela sometimes we have a family to live for uqomba andikwazi ukushiya abantwana bese bancinci kanye ndikwazi ukushiya ekhaya mhlawumbe sibabini and no brother wami uzawukwenza nzeka ntoni so unala feeling and then you must believe one thing in our black culture we saying abazali sithi azongcoba abazali not bami nandingcwatywa ngabazali bami uyabona I was fighting for that.
So what I pick up from this conversation is that funeke uyitreate kwalapha ku-stage sokuqala before ufike ku-MDR iye naku-XDR sithini some of the symptoms zalina kwalapha ku-first stage?
I-TB yonke iyefana but i-TB we have now of these days is so clever. It's only one symptoms and then you go to the clinic. They said, no man, go to buy a coughing mixture. And then the coughing still resistant in the... So they never come up in the mind of saying, okay, we test for you a TB. Even to when we are a clinic, we are test for HIV, but you will never be sent for a TB. Until you saying, and in the 20 so it's a need to work around ne symptoms bafundiswa abantu even sukuma noba ikhona i1 sukuma ubheke clinic than too late.
Ingapreventwa njani i-TB?
Asikuzukwazi ukuyiprevent because isemoyeni umoya uzawuthi uzuyiprevent ulala ukufa until you die you prevent you won't get a TB. Yes, i-doctors like ziyazama ukuthi azenze i-vaccines to protect abantu ukuqonda uyabona i-prevention. Yes. But azinaguarantee ukuthi awunoyifumana but at least unela themba lento ethi even mina kuba ndiyakhohlela ndiba newari uba ndike ndabile ubusuku obuyi-1 the following day happen ngoba yiTB iyabuya.
Goodman, in under 2 minutes, what can you tell and motivate TB patients?
I want to say hang in there. I and our community say please let's support one another. Don't ask me ukuba ndigula intoni khakundibuza uba ndikuncede phi enze ndizokwazi ukutsho ndikuvulela isifuba sam because xa uzawusuka ufuna ukwazi isifo sam awufuni kwazi ingxaki yam ufuna ukuhamba uphunga ngayo. So if as a community we can stand together support one another it can be number one.
There's a lot that we do not know. I hope you guys take time out to go do your research because it's actually extensive. The fact that you can't actually prevent it scares me. So definitely
there's 2 types.
Bruh, 3 levels. Yeah. In this quick ad break, I will be doing my research. I hope you guys do the same too. Siyabuya ngaindawo.
I do sometimes. Like bawufuna udlala utshintsha amateki njenge-presenters like sometimes it's awonke, sometimes it's usiya, and then it's Lama, then it's
Lwandile. You know, all we do is change and we play games with you. We're magicians actually in the studio.
Just like that. Next time it could be you. Do you want to guest present? Yes. Email ekse@capetowntv.org or send a short clip of yourself doing your thing. Go Facebook, go Ekse on Cape Town TV to find out more details on how you can participate in this great fun. You can call 021-448-0448. We are Ekse Live. We are proudly Cape Townian. However, we do broadcast to the great nation of South Africa on channel 263 on your DSTV. And we are worldwide on YouTube. Wherever you are, you could be in Atlanta, Georgia, you could be in China, Japan, India. Hey, we're
beginning to sound a little international.
We are. The biggest show in this continent. It's Ekse on Cape Town TV on your YouTube channels. Welcome to it, everybody. If you just joined us, do not fear. On Friday between 7 and 8, we do have a repeat of this very episode, so you can tune in to Cape Town TV.
And speaking of education and everything that is about learning and growing bigger and better, today we're going to stick to the topic rather of tuberculosis, because it's something that is very, very important. As Lamali Moon mentioned earlier on, we are the third biggest country to have tuberculosis in the world, after China as well as India. So here to talk to us a little bit more about that is the incredible Dr. Becky. So we're going to be finding out more about TB, not just learning about it, but seeing how we can help other people around us deal and live with TB as well. TB is curable though, so if you do want to know more, we will be speaking to Dr. Becky.
It's very alarming when Alwandile, because 1% of the population each year
gets it.
They get TB, and I feel like we are being educated. Maybe we need to do more to educate. Thank you so much, Dr. Becky, for joining the biggest show in the motherland.
Thank you for having me.
Utate a busy schedule, Sako, and you think, you know what, I'm going to educate the youth of South Africa. First and foremost, you work in Kailicha, and you deal with DRTB patients. How is your job?
My job is challenging, but it's very enjoyable, very rewarding. So MSF, Doctors Without Borders, we've been working in Kailicha for many years now. And we work to support patients or people who are living with drug-resistant TB complete their treatment. So we're looking for innovative ways to make that treatment journey a little bit easier. As Goodman explained, the journey is very difficult. And so we look for better ways to access shorter, more tolerable treatments, but also the way that we support the patients to get through that journey.
Yeah, by 1% of a population getting TB each year, what do you mean? What's that number?
So in South Africa, now you're testing me. Within South Africa each year, for drug-resistant TB, there's 11,000 people who are infected. And TB as a whole kills more South Africans than any other condition. So it is something that we should be talking about. It's something we need to educate ourselves about.
And you say something very important right now. I did not know. I thought maybe a number one killer in South Africa would be HIV, which is what we hear about all the time, would be all these different other things. But one thing I also think people don't recognize is in these big numbers are small children as well. And that's what you are focusing on right now. Pediatrician, where you're dealing with younger kids who have TB. How's that process? What does that look like for young kids?
So children are a very vulnerable group. So as you're growing up, you're still developing your immune system. So children are actually very vulnerable to developing TB. So if there's TB in a household, the younger children are the ones more likely to be infected. So that's the first problem. But from there on, it's always difficult for the child. So we don't have very good tests to diagnose TB in children. So it's much harder as a doctor to actually confirm that the child has TB or not. Once we get to the treatment for children with drug-resistant TB, in Cape Town, it's a very centralized treatment, so that means the child has to move away from their family home to get treatment in a hospital. So they're separated from their caregivers, which has a lot of consequences, as you can imagine. And the treatment itself, which we give to the children, we don't have child-friendly treatment. So, for example, when you go to the pharmacy, you might buy syrup for your baby. For TB treatment, we don't have that. So we use adult tablets, and we crush it and mix it in water. And the taste is very awful for the kids. It's very hard to make them swallow it, and it's very hard to make the medicine up as well. So there's challenges along every step of the journey. So we really now want to focus on finding these children, because we know a lot of these children are never diagnosed with TB. So we want to diagnose them, and we want to get them effective treatment, which is more friendly and tolerable for them.
Speaking of diagnosis, I understand that there's MDR TB and then there's XDR TB. I'm confused. What's the difference?
So essentially, the multi-drug resistant TB, MDR TB, is when you have resistance to at least 2 of the antibiotics that we use to treat TB. And extremely drug resistant is a resistance to at least 4. So it's basically the number of drugs that you're resistant to. Both of them are curable diseases. We now have good treatment in South Africa that is curing more and more patients, but it's still a very difficult, long journey. For both of those conditions.
And Goodman had mentioned earlier on that sometimes there aren't any clear ways that you can tell that you do have TB. So are there any other things that we can look at apart from the things that he mentioned? Because he threw up blood, but most people don't get to throw up blood. It's very subtle and can be dormant for quite some time. So how do we know and how to quickly nip it in the bud? Because the quicker we can, the more curable it can be.
Exactly, and that's one of the prevention messages is that the quicker you get diagnosed, the more likely you'll be cured. So don't put off getting tested for TB. So the things really to look out for is a cough that doesn't go away as it usually would, any kind of unexplained weight loss, any fever, or any night sweats. And then anything else really non-specific. So coughing up blood is a very important one, although it's quite rare.
You're right.
And in children particularly, children don't behave quite the same as adults. So if your child is not quite right, they're not playing as normal, they're not managing at school, maybe they're not growing well, they're not gaining weight like you would expect them to, or they're not eating well, that could all be a sign of TB as well.
Now, why is this TB taking 2 to 4 years to treat and get well, whereas other types of TBs, 6 months to 9, you know, a couple of months?
So historically, the treatment for MDR or XDR TB was up to 2 years. Now we're actually able to cure some types of MDR TB within 9 months. So that just shows how far the treatment has actually advanced. Most people can have an all-oral treatment, so no injections like Goodman had to have. And some can be cured within 9 to 11 months. The reason there's difference to the 6 months for normal TB is just because the number of drugs that are resistant means that we have to add extra treatment to try and cure that condition.
Yeah, you mentioned that the sooner you're diagnosed and get treated, the quicker you can get well. So what are the symptoms of having this type of TB?
So like I said, any prolonged cough, any night sweat, any fever, or any sign of losing weight, go and see your doctor. TB testing is free.
So all the symptoms of TB, whether you have the resistant one or the normal one, is all the same?
It's all the same.
Okay, nothing extra. Okay, so and one thing I wanted to know about as well is how has it been like working in Khayelitsha? How are the cases? Are you finding most people have TB? Because I don't think people wake up and they cough. Most times if you wake up and you cough and your parents are like, oh, just go to school, buy your cough syrup, and that's about it. No one ever says, oh, you might have TB. I'm going to, you know, take care of it right now.
And I think that's why it's really great that we're here talking about this today. And I think we need to talk about TB more often. The more we're educated as a community, the more we can see TB and get treatment quicker. So the cases I see in Khayelitsha, often people have been coughing for quite a long time. So the quicker you get the treatment, is the better for yourself, but also it prevents onward transmission. So TB is spread by coughing. So the longer you cough, the more likely you are to spread the condition to someone else.
Okay, what are Doctors Without Borders calling for? What would you like to see? What change are you aiming for?
So within South Africa now, we're calling for more friendly treatment for children with TB. So we want that treatment to be closer to their home, so they should be able to access it at a primary health care clinic. so they can stay with their loved ones and their caregivers. We're asking for medicine that is friendly for children, that can be swallowed and taste nice, and we're asking for regimens that are short and without any injections.
Yeah, and the treatment is free of charge.
Yes, it's always free. So South Africa is leading the world for that.
Wonderful.
Okay, amazing, amazing. And hearing all these things, are there any stories where you've heard or rather seen people get well from TB, and how? Because most people have a stigma of you're going to be sick and you're going to be sick for a while. And I think most people know that it is indeed curable. You can get better after 6 months or however long it takes. But what are the cases that have made you smile, as Dr. Becky say, oh, you know what, we helped that person and they know better now?
We have so many cases like that. I mean, Goodman is a perfect example. Goodman's treatment journey was horrendous, but here he is today.
Yeah.
There are many patients like that. We're curing at least 60% of patients with these very resistant forms of TB in South Africa now. And the good news is in children, once they are diagnosed, actually we're curing most of those children once they get onto effective treatment. So don't delay, it's treatable, you will get better, and yeah, smile on my face.
Thank you so much, Doctor. You just put a smile on my face as well, because these are good news.
Yes.
Thank you so much for coming through with some good news to Ekse.
Yes, thank you so much. And right now we're going to take a little bit of a short break, so see you after this.
Why are we taking a short break?
Are we not taking a short break?
No, I don't think we should.
Now, what are we taking?
Because I feel like I need to go
We're
register.
The show flies.
She's been having a hell lot of a time.
Remember, Don told you about registering on that platform so that you can be part of that platform. Yes, if you want to be part of a Republic, yeah, extra cool. It's happening on the 28th of December. Are you going to be in Cape Town? If you wish to be part of that excitement, make sure that you register very soon.
Yeah, it's been an amazing show. Sorry for my blonde moment. See, time flies when you're having fun and you're enjoying what you're doing. Don't forget to let us know if you enjoyed the show. We are Ekse_live on Twitter as well as Ekse on Cape Town TV. And don't worry, you can catch the repeat on Friday from the hours of 7 to 8. But I'm going to let you guys speak now.
Oh, homeboy decided to put his leather jacket on. I do not know what's going on. So now
continue being left out. But before we end, we'd like to thank Dr. Becky. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you to Goodman. I kind of thank you to Donovan Goliath. Thank you to Green Fingers for coming through and gracing us with your presence. And of course, to Nangong. So Nangong Somnye, as we bring you nothing but the best. We are the #1 youth show in and around Cape Town.
Yes.
The whole continent, according to Lama, as well as the South African country as well. Yeah, we just happened to based in the mother city, however, we're worldwide.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Follow us on all our social media platforms.
Yeah.
Continue those comments using the hashtag, the one on the screen, side tag.
Yeah,
that's a wrap, everybody. This is I almost said a Tuesday afternoon. This is a Wednesday afternoon from us to you. It's all love and enjoy the rest of your Wednesday.
Yes, tomorrow we're talking issues surrounding the public, and then on Friday, go. Make sure that you do return. This is Ekse. Good night. God bless. Up next is Open Studio.
Open Studio.